Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of General Hour. My name is Isaac, and I'm joined by.
Tyler.
Oh, you did it right. I didn't know if you were going to do it. So, we're changing things up a little bit. I don't know if it was I don't even remember if it was a we or if it was an I, but
Who knows?
someone decided that we're going to change up the way we do things. So instead of having set topics based off of um, like my mind just totally blanked.
That's not
um,
good.
on like electronics and news and whatnot. We're just gonna speak about whatever we want, but probably stay away from politics because I don't want to get in that
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely. That's scary.
Yeah,
Scary place to go.
scary because other people.
Because
Uh,
of, yes.
yeah. You can offend a lot of people just by saying something politics wise, and then people get flustered, and you're like, "Well, that was unfortunate." Um, and so if you hear us like make weird noises or like say something weird, we're playing a game while doing this because we figure every time we play a game, we usually can talk about stuff really well. And like if we don't play a game, it's like, well, can't really think of stuff well.
Yeah.
But man, this is breaking my game. The textures are really breaking. But anyways, um, oh, I feel like I know what it is actually. Um, so I don't know if you want to start it off and into this week. Ooh, okay, just a couple technical difficulties there.
What what is happening on your end?
Well, I stopped the scene, but it switched to that scene because the scene was like the game that I'm playing. So I tried to delete the scene and it just swapped to it.
Oh,
And then I swapped
uh-oh.
back to this scene and started playing the intro. So
Yep, those are problems right there.
yep. Well, we're gonna keep
Oh,
rolling with it. We're gonna
we're
keep
good at
rolling.
this. It's okay.
Yeah.
Trained
Um.
professionals.
Exactly. See, we'll get it down eventually. But I don't know if you want to start us off. Do you have any stories? If not, I can start us off.
No, I
Um.
think you should start.
Okay.
I'm bad at
So.
starting.
So today, sitting in one of my classes at school, and it was lunchtime, and well, actually, I have a story before the story.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so we have this like privilege at my high school. It's like senior lunch. So instead of sitting in the lunchroom, we sit in this other room. That it's like only seniors, even though underclassmen go in anyways, because screw rules and stuff. And so they were we have the senior lunch, and then they come in on Friday last week, and apparently, so we have three lunches. We have like an A, B, and C, and I'm in B lunch, and obviously A lunch is before me because that's how counting and letters work. um, but so they come in and they're like, we have to close senior lunch next week, and they're and like because I guess someone had like a food fight and there were a bunch of pears thrown about. I guess I don't even know. It was really weird. um, and I assume it was the sea lunch because I didn't see any pear carnage or food fight whatever like from A lunch. Like it looked pretty clean in B lunch, so I assumed it was C lunch. And what my assumption is, it was a bunch of underclassmen goons who came in and just like started throwing pears at the upperclassmen. The upperclassmen were being goons, and they started throwing stuff back, and then it
Such a
just turned into a
ripoff.
food fight. And so they closed it. Hopefully, it reopens on Monday. Um, but the reason I'm telling the backstory to this because I don't typically like watch YouTube because I don't have my like school laptop with me. Like I don't bring it down to the NPR, which is a what we call the multi-purpose room, which is where we eat lunch. Um, and so I just sit in the class that I'm usually in because the beat lunch is like in it's like smack dab in the middle of the like the fourth block. So like A lunch is after third block, and then you have your lunch, and then you go to your class, and then you start your class. And then C lunch, you go to fourth block, you sit in it, and then you leave, and then you have lunch, and then you go to fifth block once that because the period ends if you're in C lunch, the period ends with you having lunch. But B lunch is right in the middle of fourth period, and so it's like there's no point in really going to the lunchroom because like the lunchroom's bad and trash and filled with underclassmen goons. And so I just sit in my classroom or the class that I have. I just sit in the classroom. And so I just watch YouTube now because I have nothing else to do. So I went on to my like recommended. I don't know if it was for my school account or if it was like my personal account on Google, but I go in and I see this like video in my recommended, and it's like unboxing fails, and I'm like, oh, so I watch one, and it's like I don't know, like a 10-minute video or something like that, maybe like a little more, maybe a little less, I don't remember, but like a 10-minute video of like these really cringy, really bad videos of people unboxing things, and it's funny because it's a bunch of scams. So it's like this one was like this kid. The other thing is I don't get where these kids get this money from. Like I assume the ad makes it seem like reasonable, like a actual ad. So it's like if the kid's buying a phone to unbox, like a used phone, obviously the person's gonna sell it for the price like higher up. So I'm like, where do these children get this money? First off, unless they're like fake videos or whatever. But um, anyways, there was like this one kid, and he unboxed this box, and he's like, "Yeah, I got like iPhone 7s, and the guy said he'd throw in a free like 5S or 5C or whatever." And I'm like, Okay, whatever." And this kid opens this box, and he pulls out like 7 iPhone 7s, and I'm like, "What?"
What?
Plus like
What?
another like iPhone or an iPod or something. But the funny thing is, this kid opens like the first iPhone box, and it's like full of like I hope I'm not mixing the videos up, but I think it was like full of just magnets. So it puts weight in the box and makes it seem like there's a phone in there, but
Ugh,
really there's not. It's just a bunch of magnets. And so this
that's
kid
sad.
opened up all 7 boxes, and they were just all full of magnets.
Oh,
And this kid's like, "Well, that was a fail."
yeah, that definitely is a fail.
And like there was this other one, like it's a compilation. I don't know how you say that word, of just a bunch of videos put together, but they're really cringy too because they're like 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old kids shooting on like potato cameras.
Go figure.
um, yeah. What was this other one? Oh yeah, this other one. This kid bought like what he thought was like an iPhone, or maybe it was I think it like an iPhone 4 because it still had like the physical home button with the square. I know the iPhone 6 didn't have it. Did iPhone 5 didn't have it either? I don't think. Unless it was like the 5C. Um, but anyways, this kid opens the box, and um he like sees that there's like a screen, and he's like, "Oh, cool." And then he takes it out, and it's literally just a screen.
Oh, what?
Like,
They just gave him a screen.
yeah, the guy just shipped him a screen with like the button, which is really funny, the home but with the home button in the box.
Oh,
It's like,
wow.
oh my gosh, that must be so devastating. Like you spend like probably at least $100, if not more, depending on what phone you're getting, and they just send you like not what you wanted.
That's why you don't trust the internet.
Yeah, right. That's why you always make sure that they're actually sending you what they say you're sending you,
Yes.
and not just like, oh, they're selling like 7 iPhone 10s. I'm gonna buy all 7 of them. Oh wow, like $300? That's a deal. Yeah, I know. That's I think someone trying to get some quick cash.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't know why it came up on my recommended, but it was really cringy because it's really bad videos with really like with like kids that shouldn't even like be doing it. And then there was this one where it was like this. It wasn't a fail because the product was bad. It was a fail because I guess they had like a script or something like that, and the kid was like yelling at his. It sounded like his sister or something like that, and he's like, "Are you recording?" And the person in the background's like, "Yeah, I'm recording." And the
Oh my
guy
god.
like reads like a piece of paper in front of him. I guess it's his supposed script, and he's like, "Oh crap, I messed up."
What the heck?
I know. I don't know why that popped up on my recommended. That was like so I watched the first video, and then that was like the second one. I think. I think that was in the second one. But then there's this other one where this kid had it set up kind of like the unboxing YouTubers have it, where they have like a guy off camera. Um, and so like this kid's opening this box, and I think it's another one of like literally just a screen or something like that, and the kid looks, or no, it was a phone case, but like in an iPhone box, but it wasn't an iPhone phone case. It was weird. But the kid opens the box and he looks off camera and he's like, "Where'd you buy this from?" It's talking to like one of his friends or whatever. And they're like, "What the heck?" And the kid has like a quote unquote legit setup. So he has like a camera that's like kind of it's like sitting on his desk and pointed up towards his face. And then in off like on the left side, there's like a you can see like a blue Yeti snowball, or not a Yeti, but like a blue snowball mic that he has propped up. And I'm like, wow, okay. At least he's doing his research and he's trying to go for like
Yeah,
a
that's
legit
true.
setup. Can't knock him for that one.
At least he didn't stack boxes and use those. But that's a story for another time.
Is it a story for another time, or is it something we tell now?
I don't know.
uh, I can't believe we did that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, for context, I was at Tyler's house this one time, and I had my laptop at the time, because now I have a PC, which I still transport to his house. But regardless, I had a laptop, and so obviously that just sat in my lap, while we were playing games. But then, like, I had no place to really use my mouse with, and like he has like a not a reclining chair but like a chair in his room, and so I sat in the chair and like there's no really way to use the mouse on like the armrest, and so I'm like, what can we use that's like big enough? So like I brought my mouse pad to like um to use, because obviously I don't want to use like a not like mouse pad surface, and so we stack up like a bunch of boxes, and on top of I think like a not a hamper basket,
Yeah,
like
it
a
was,
clothes basket or something like that, a
yeah.
laundry basket, and we used that, and surprisingly it worked, and I didn't have to like extend my arm very far, like so like I didn't strain my arm, which was nice. But
Okay, it
man,
was definitely sketchy.
it was
But the worst
sketchy,
part
but
of
it
it all
worked.
is that in my parents' garage, there was a table there the whole entire time, and I didn't know about it.
The whole
So we
like
didn't even have to do that. If we just went in the garage and looked, we would have had a table and it would have been fine. But no, no, we stacked boxes because
Yeah, see, that was what,
we're
24,
resourceful.
that was like 2014, 2015 us. This is 2018, 2019 us. We're smarter now because we've grown up. We know a
Well,
thing or two.
we're smarter than we were.
Yeah. Oh. Um.
I,
uh. Yeah. Yeah. That's funny though. Like whole time there's a table in your
no, it's like
garage, and
what?
it's like there the whole time. And like when I first brought my PC, was that when I first brought my PC over that we found it, or was that like the second time?
It was the first time because I don't think we did anything else with like your keyboard and stuff. I think we found the table
Oh
because I asked
yeah.
my dad. He showed us where it was.
Oh yeah, didn't we look in your attic?
Yes, we did. We was like, what can we use?
Yeah, we're like, what is a table like thing that I can at least fit my monitor and maybe my keyboard on? And I'm thinking like probably we're gonna have to resort to like a dinner tray or something like that. we'll just look, and it's like behind this shelf in his garage
Yeah.
next to a door.
Oh, it's such a ripoff.
Oh
Oh, well, at least
man,
we found it.
that's true. So now next time, oh man.
What do we talk about now? Let's
Well,
talk about.
what?
I don't know.
Okay. um. Oh, so I'm so car. That really great
Car,
segue. Really great segue, right? So car. Um.
car,
So for those who don't know, because don't think I've done anything like since we last recorded, because like yeah, like 3 4 weeks ago. Oh my gosh, 3 4 weeks ago since we last recorded. But Tyler knows this already. So I have a car in the works, and so it's a 2007 Nissan Sentra, which is actually not that bad of a car. It's a four-door like sedan. Um, it's not the prettiest looking car when you look it up online. Like if you look it up online, it looks pretty ugly, but in person, it's okay. It looks okay. Um, it kind of just looks like it kind of looks like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. If you put up a picture of the Nissan Sentra and the Hunchback together, it'll look pretty much the same. But anyways, so it's my mom's ex coworker that is wanting to sell it. So like out of the blue one day, like my mom gets this text from her, and it's like, "Hey, do any of your kids want like are any of your kids interested in a car?" And my mom's like, yeah, my son is," which is me, obviously. Um, and so we go look at it. Was it last week? Last week we went. That was this past Sunday. That's crazy. It didn't feel like it was this past Sunday. Was it this past Sunday? I don't remember. Anyways, we look at it on a Sunday, whether it was this last week Sunday or like 2 weeks ago. Look at it, and so we're definitely interested in it. And so they get it checked out with the mechanic because the last car I bought um, was a lemon, so it seems to start out sweet, but it turned really sour really fast. So it's a Subaru Outback because Subaru Outback is like my dream car for like right now. Like I guess for like a first dream car, it's my dream car. Like I guess my second best. Like once I have the money to afford it, probably like I don't even know something. Anyways, dream car for right now is Subaru Outback, um, like 2002 to like 2007 or eight maybe. I don't know if I really like the newer ones because they look more like a family wagon. But um, it was a 2002 Subaru Outback. It says limited, but I think it's a legacy. I don't know. It's weird. The models are weird for the Subaru Outback. But anyways, it's a Subaru Outback, and I saw it and I loved it. It was like a great price. It was I think like 1,100 or $1,200. Um, didn't have that many miles on it. Um, and so we go check it out. It's like it's up in gosh, I don't remember what town it was in. I almost said what state. I don't even remember what town it was in. It was in the state of Maine, but I don't remember which town it was in. But it was like a hour drive or so, maybe a little longer. Um, and so we drive up there, we look at it, and it seems like pretty good. My dad kind of does a few checks around and um, kind of checks out a little bit. And we know a super mechanic, but we just didn't think to take him with us, which very highly regret doing. Should have done that in the first place. But so we look at the car, drive around. Everything seems really fine. It's like, oh, great. So we buy it. Um, I'd like, sweet, this is great. Drive it back to my house, and I'm like, I love it. It's got I think all Subaru Outbacks, even if you have like the base model, I think they all have heated seats. So it's got like heated seats. It's got a leather interior, black leather interior. It's like a color black on the outside. It's got a few dents and scrapes and dings, but that's really whatever. Um, and then it's got a sunroof, which I was really excited about because Tyler has a Hummer and his Hummer has a sunroof, and then we're gonna be sunroof buddies. And so we're like, oh, this is great. So we go to the town office to get it registered, and they're like, well, first of all, which my dad was like, I should have caught this and I should have asked about it, but he didn't. Um, and I guess that's just what happens when you don't really go carefully into a car situation. Um, is the title wasn't in the guy who actually sold us the car's name. It was in like a mechanic that had the car, I guess, and it kind of like loaned it to this guy that we bought it from. And so it was in the title's in the mechanic's name, not the guy we bought it from. And so we go to register it. They give us like the papers, like the paperwork to fill out, and it's like they gave us two, and so the guy that sold it to us have to fill out one of them, and we have to fill out the other one. Because the one for him is to get it in his name, and then obviously the one for us is to get it in our name. Um, and so my dad brings the paper to the guy, and he fills it out, uh, willingly and whatever. And it's like $33 to do it, which is like 66 because you have both forms. Or maybe it was like $30. I don't remember. Somewhere around $30. And this like then we bring it to the super mechanic we know because he lives nearby us. And so we bring it to him, and he because we originally brought it to him to see if he had tires for the car because the car had well, it still has really bald tires on it. Like you can see the um, what is it on the inside that you can see like the metal, um, not metal, but like basically the part of the tire you don't want to see. Like it had literally no treads, like as bald as a tire could be. So we go to get the tires, see if he had any, and he takes one look under it and he's like, "This isn't good." And we're like, "What do you mean it's not good?" And he looks and there's like huge rust holes in the frame, and then like there was some other things that were really wrong with it, um, like like I don't even remember, but basically, moral of the story is can't drive it anymore. It's a piece of junk. Wasted $1,200. um, and so all this is a backstory, I guess. I forgot where I was going with it. But all this is a backstory to the car I'm getting now. So it's this Nissan Sentra, and so they brought it to a mechanic that they know, that services like a company that the so it's like my mom's ex coworker is a girl, and her boyfriend works for a place, and they have like company vehicles, and so they take their company vehicles to this place to get checked out. And so they brought the Nissan there, and because they don't want to sell us like a bad car. And so they bring it there, it gets checked out, and the mechanic's like, it's all good. There's a few things that like you don't need to worry about, basically. Like they're known issues, but it's fine if you don't fix them. And so the one thing he said is it did need tires. So they originally were going to sell it for 3,000, but then they dropped it to 2,500, which is kind of the price range I was looking at in general, anyways. So they drop it to 2,500 because we have to get tires. And basically, if you when you buy tires, that brings it right back up to 3,000, which yeah. So it's nice that they did that. Um, and so then yeah, we looked at it and it was really good. And funny story about it is my dad and I uh drove. Well, my dad drove it. I didn't get to drive it. I think he wanted me to drive it, but we ended up not being able to because we bring it to a parking lot, and we my dad checks under the hood because it's kind of loud, and my dad's like, I wonder why it's so loud. And he's like, maybe it's like the exhaust manifold, I think you said, um, was leaking, which is why it's so loud. Um, and so he pops a hood, and we're looking, and like the hood hook is like out too. Like you could just throw that anywhere if you wanted to, or use it as a weapon. To be honest, I like probably will fix that as soon as I get the car, figure out how to get that in. But anyways, we he pops the hood. We look and we see that the engine's sideways, so you can't really like look at the exhaust manifold because the way the engine runs. Um, and so we're like, all right, whatever. So my dad lets the hood drop, and it only latches like the first time. To where like when you first pop it, then you need to find like the latch to open it. It only latches to that point. My dad's like, "Oh, great. Did we just break it or something? Or is there like a trick to it?" And so my dad like pushes on it, pushes on it, pushes on it, nothing. Opens it, lets it free fall close, nothing. So like, great. So then my dad drives it back, um, and we asked the like the boyfriend, and we're like, is there like a trick to making this latch? And he's like, oh yeah, so you have to like the wire doesn't disengage, it like stays engaged for from like the lever that you pull inside the car to where it like pops the hood. And so basically you just have to like reset it with your like manually with your fingers by pushing something like a certain way because it gets like stuck, I guess. Um and um yeah, so that happened. But all of this is to just say that I was texting the boyfriend yesterday. Yeah, today's Friday. I was texting him today, and he said that because I needed to because they can't sell it to me yet because they're still using it. So they need to buy a new car first, and they said they would in the next week or so. And then the uh, boyfriend texted me today and was like, "We're gonna go car shopping, by the way, tomorrow." Now, fingers crossed, that means they have a couple options and they're gonna look at those options and then buy one, or that they're just gonna go around until they find a car that they like and buy it, or that they just have a one option, they know what they're gonna get, they like it, and they're just gonna buy it tomorrow. That's what I
That'd
hope
be
for,
good.
those three options. I mean, it could be the situation where they find a car that they kind of like, or a couple cars, and they go back to their apartment and they kind of like talk about it, and then they go out and buy whichever one they want. Um, I assume they might just settle on something tomorrow, which would be great because then I could get it on Sunday, and then I could register it on Monday, and then get tires on it at some point, either midweek or on Saturday or something like that.
That'd
Kind of
be
hope I could do
great.
it midweek though, just like make an appointment after school and just drive up and get new tires on it. But I need to wait until my parents can do that, I guess, because they're buying
Yeah,
the car and then I don't have money for tires. I don't
only
know what
tires weren't so expensive.
I know.
I
I
mean,
should.
they're really expensive for my car, but
Well, yeah. For me they're not too expensive. Like the ones that I found were like $70, and like I'm getting them put on at like Town Fair Tire, and so it's like they have a thing on their website which can tell you like how much it's gonna cost to have like everything done, like get them on, get them rotated, all that stuff. It's like around like $300 to $400, and then there's like a factory like you could add on like a factory like recommended whatever, but I don't think you really need that. I don't really know though, because it's the first time I'm
hmm.
ever like putting tires on a vehicle that's mine. And usually whenever I'm like going and like uh having tires put on a vehicle, it's usually my dad's truck and he does all the stuff, and so I have no clue what I'm doing. It's like I don't know like I assume they probably, if I don't say anything, they'll just put like a random tire on it or whatever the last tire was that they have. Um, but I'm hoping that my dad will let me get these tires because the tires that I looked at for $70, people that reviewed them said they're really good, they're really quiet, good in the snow, which is what I want since I live in Maine. Um, and then good in like wet conditions, dry conditions. They have a stat like road, um, like what is it called? Like reaction time, I guess, or like whatever. So like I guess how fast the tire, like when you turn the wheel, how fast it like actually um takes to. What am I saying? What am I trying to say? I got lost.
English?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh man,
It's
got
been a
my
long day. It's been
it,
a long day.
it has been a long day. It's been a long Friday. This is a good way to end a
uh,
Friday. Oh man. But yeah, yeah, it's like road reaction. So I think it's like it it's a measurement of how fast it takes like the tire or the car to turn, depending on how fast you like turn the wheel. Why? Um, but yeah, do you have anything you want to add or say or
oh, I could talk about my weird car issues.
oh, let's dive into that.
Do we want to? Is it
Yes,
worth it?
it's worth it. I don't want to do all the
Anyways,
talking.
like he said, I have a Hummer. It's a 2008 H3. And I love that car, but it's got some weird issues. So, I guess I could go back a little bit farther. So, the first day of school, I'm already dreading life because, it's the first day of school. It's a long day.
First day of school, like ever? Like, how far back are we going?
No, the first day of this year.
Okay,
Well, last year, technically, but you know what I
this
mean.
school year, first day of this
This,
school
this,
year.
this, some, yeah, this semester. Okay. So I get there, everything's fine. My car starts and everything. I go through the day. I'm like, okay. And then I sit in my car waiting for the next class and I put my key in, listen to the radio for a while, and then try to take my key out and it's stuck. And I'm like, what? Why is this stuck in
Your
the
key got
ignition?
stuck.
I wiggle it. Some people say wiggle the steering wheel. I did that. I wiggled the shifter to see if I could, that would release it. No, it didn't. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna call my dad. He didn't know what the problem was. So it was like in 10 minutes I had to go to class. So I was like, okay, I'll just lock my car with my key fob. No, that doesn't work either. Okay, that's nice. I guess I'm gonna have to leave my car unlocked while I go to class with my key in it still. So
Yikes.
that's what I did. It was extremely scary. Not that anyone could steal it because it obviously didn't come out or start.
Right.
So then I was hoping it would fix itself because that car has an issue with pass lock sometimes where it won't let you start it. You have to wait like 10 minutes for it to start it again. I was hoping that was the issue, but I get back in my car after class and it still doesn't start. So I had to wait for my dad to come to school, which is he's pretty close, so that's fine. And we troubleshoot it and stuff, and we decide, okay, we'll jump it. So we open the hood. He gets his armor out, and we connect everything, and then we jump it. But the bad thing is that locked the doors. And the other bad thing is my key's still in there. So I locked the keys in the car, and my spare key is an hour away. So I was like, I don't really want to go all the way back. So I asked my mom to bring it.
So you
Just
basically roped your whole family into your car
it
problem.
was like it was it was a party, whole party. But we got it running, and it was good. It drove fine. Got it home. Then, like a couple weeks after, I get up. I have an early day.
like
I'm
anybody in
like,
school does.
I was excited because I was gonna get there a little bit early. I could just kind of like relax and stuff.
Sleep.
I get in my car. It's in the garage because I put a bumper on it earlier. Um, I start it, and then I try to shift into reverse, and it's stuck. It doesn't shift. Like, why another problem? So, I looked up things. I decided, okay, I'm not gonna make it to class. So I decided to take apart the whole center console. Still couldn't figure out the problem. I found some things that are interesting, but
We'll
I'm
get
not
into
gonna talk
that.
about those. uh, so now when I need to shift my car into drive, I have to reach all the way down, press this little button to release the lock so that I can go into drive. And it looks extremely awkward because like I'm literally reaching all the way down to shift it. So when people look and they're like, "What the heck? Why is it taking so long?"
uh,
Oh, yep. So my car issue's right there.
I don't think I've heard you tell it that way. That like you got your whole family roped into your Hummer
I
issue. Where
literally
you had
did
to
though.
like I knew about your dad, but I didn't know you roped your mom into it, having to
Yeah,
getting her to bring you the key.
that's the only way I could get my spare key.
Or the what was the first issue? I don't even remember. I
The
don't know.
key getting stuck. That was the first issue.
Yeah, I don't think you told me that either. Unless you
Yeah,
did, and I just
that's
really
key
don't
definitely
remember.
did get stuck.
I know
And it
you. I
definitely didn't
remember
lock
you.
itself.
I remember you telling me that it locked itself when you guys jumped it. But I don't remember you saying that the key got stuck in the ignition. How
It's
does
such a
that?
rip off.
How? Why do they do that with
So
cars? That like it makes
I
it
don't
so that the
know.
key just gets stuck and you just can't take it out. Like, is it like a theft? Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's anti-theft, but the lock in there doesn't work when the battery's dead, I guess. It
So you
just
can put it
doesn't
in.
unlock. You can put it in, but you can't take it out afterwards.
I feel like
So
you
that's
shouldn't
an
be able to put it
interesting.
in at
I know,
first.
right? But no, that's not how it works, I guess.
Man, it's really unfortunate.
Cars. Cars are weird. I
Yeah.
still haven't figured out that problem. I still can't shift into drive normally. I just don't. I don't know anymore.
Oh man. Maybe it's like a hood issue. Like it's probably like maybe just like a simple fix, but like it's time consuming to do. Like once you figure out what it
Probably.
is, watch just like
No,
something simple, but it's just like you don't want to.
could be a wire, but like I don't want to pull that wire out.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't want a
Goes
mechanic to
all the
do
way
it
to the
because then
transmission.
if you have a mechanic do it, then you have to have like you have to pay them to do it plus the
Yeah,
part
it's
and all that.
spend more money. And then if it's easy, you still have to give them like tons of money.
Right.
And then I have a check engine light to make it all better.
Yeah, but what car
I don't
doesn't have the
know.
check engine light on that doesn't mean anything?
I just I wish I knew what it was. It could mean a whole lots of different things, but I can't like pin it down to one thing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Speaking of car stories. Okay, I guess this is a topic for the podcast. Car stories. It's probably gonna be the title, like car hell or something like that. Um,
Carmel.
but
Yes.
I was hanging out with someone um for the Super Bowl. By the way, Pats rock. I don't care what anybody else has to say. Pats won and they deserve to be there. Anyways, um
Wow.
um I was at someone's house watching the Super Bowl and they were talking about how they got a truck, like a newer truck, not like a new truck, but like pretty new, like past 2010 new. And so they got this truck and he like bought it from a dealership. He loved the truck, all that stuff. Drives off the dealership, check engine light comes on. Like 10 minutes down the road, check engine light comes on. It's like great. So he drives it back to the dealership. He talks to the guys and they're like, "Okay, yeah, we'll look into it. We'll see what it is." And they do some troubleshooting and it's like apparently they find out that's like a sensor of some type. So they replace the sensor, they throw a new one in, like, all right, good to go. Gets in his truck, drives it off the lot. Again, same spot, 10 minutes down the road. Check engine light comes on. He's
Oh
like,
man.
"You've got to be kidding me." So he drives it back to the dealership and is like, "Check engine light came on again." And so they troubleshoot. Then like, then it ends up being this other issue apparently. Throw whatever into it, and then he drives it off the lot again. This time, check engine light doesn't come on like 10 minutes down the road. But like 2 weeks later, the check engine light comes on again. And he takes it back again. And he's like, check engine light came on again. And um, they do some more troubleshooting. I think they find something else. They throw whatever that is into it. And, uh, or no, I think what happened, yeah, because he like teaches, like an auto class, like auto, yeah, like a auto mechanic class, at a college. And so he's like, all right, well, I'll figure it out. So like the third time the check engine light came on, he gets like a like a little computer thing, and he plugs it in to troubleshoot. And the computer thing says it's like this one thing, um, and he's like, oh, okay. So I think he ends up buying the part and put it in. And I guess that wasn't really the issue, or maybe it was. I don't remember how the story went, but I think it's funny the first part of the story, how like buys a new truck with like very low miles on it, and 10 minutes down the road after driving it off the dealership, which is where you lose like the most amount of value after buying a car from a dealership, check engine light comes on. But you have to give it to the whoever he bought it through, that they just took it right back and they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll check it out." And they like loaned him a car and all that stuff. That's just really
Uh,
unfortunate. He ended up
yeah,
getting
that
the
is
problem
unfortunate.
fixed, so he doesn't have a check
That's
engine
good.
light on anymore. But I wish I could remember what that problem was, but I can't.
At least they didn't buy it in Boston. That's all I have to say. Don't buy a used car from Boston. It's not worth it.
Don't buy a used car from a sketchy looking car dealer that's at someone's house.
Yeah. Yeah. That was scary.
Oh man. Ugh, cars.
Cars with issues.
It's probably gonna be the title, cars with issues.
We're
Oh
probably
man.
gonna have another car issue like a week from now.
Watch as I start getting the car issues.
I don't know.
I never
I
went
don't
over
think
what
you will.
like the specs of the Sentra and like what it has in it. So it's got um so it's a, like I said, 2007 Nissan Sentra. It's got um it's got some interesting features, which I guess Nissan's had for a while. So like they have this thing where like the newer cars nowadays, where you like just have the key fob on you and you just sit and you press the button to start the ignition, instead of turning the key. Well, they have a similar thing, but instead of it being a button, it's like still like a key turn, which I guess Nissan's had for like a while. And I never knew that because I was talking to the guy who had the truck issues, and he's like, "Yeah, Nissan's had that for a while." And I'm like, "Really? I didn't know that." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And for 2007, another feature that it has, which I found really interesting, is it has hands-free Bluetooth calling, which my mom's car doesn't even have, and hers is a 2009. Like I feel like 2009 was when it started to become mainstream, or at least it was put into a lot more cars than in 2007. But it's got hands-free Bluetooth calling, so it's got some buttons on the steering wheel, to like answer the call, and then you've got like volume up and down. I don't know if you have like a skip song feature or something like that. Um, it's got, oh, this is something I didn't tell you. It's got a 6 CD switcher in it. I can
Six.
six. I can pop
I
six
mean,
CDs into that thing.
do you have CDs?
I have a couple. Do I
I
listen
have
to
no
them?
CDs.
No, I don't listen to them.
Actually, I have one CD, and it's a Cars, the movie CD.
Like a soundtrack?
Yes.
Wow. No, I have a couple CDs, and we have a ton of CDs actually. At least we used to. I don't know where they all went. I think they're all in my basement somewhere. Um,
Oh, what the
But I
heck?
just mainly use Spotify because I have premium, so I can just download the songs and then just listen to them offline. Which to lead into that, it has an aux, which I'm really excited for because I was really hoping I would have a car with an aux in it, so I don't have to do some like janky like Bluetooth thing where it like takes over like a radio frequency. um, so that's
Lucky, I gotta
nice.
listen to the radio.
Yeah, sucks for you. I
Radio
mean,
sucks.
you could just turn the radio down and then just play the music off your phone.
That's dumb.
I've
iPhone
done it
speakers
before.
suck.
No,
Even though Apple owns Beats and they
they're
don't seem to do
stereo.
anything,
What do you mean?
they suck.
Um, it's got a sunroof, so we're still sunroof buddies. Well, we're technically not yet because I don't have
Thunder
the car yet.
buddies. Yeah, you need the car, and then we
And
can get a
then
bumper sticker called
it's a
Sunroof
sunroof
Buddies.
buddies. I'm sure that's a bumper sticker. Like, I wouldn't be
Gotta be,
surprised to be
gotta
honest.
be there.
We should totally do that though.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, it's got that. Um, it's a front wheel drive car. It's got an inline four. So it's got an i4 engine.
got one more cylinder. i5.
Yep. I don't know what its power is like because I didn't get to drive it. My dad said it
Probably
drives good.
faster than mine.
That's true.
I gotta floor it to go up hills.
Yeah, your vehicle's slow.
I mean, it wasn't intended to be fast, but yeah, it is slow.
Yeah, because it's more like an off-road vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my Nissan Sentra.
I hope you get it
Hoping to
soon.
get. Yeah, I'm hoping this Sunday. If not, probably latest is like next week. I'll
Yeah, well,
get it.
then you can drive everywhere.
Well, so long as I have money to put gas in it.
That's true, but you can
Because
still
lately I've
drive.
only been working 1 day a week. It's hard to put money. Oh, that means I can't do a lot of things anymore. I have to dedicate it to my car.
Yeah.
But it gets really good gas
Goodbye.
mileage, like $20 to fill it, or like $30 to fill it, and like it lasts like it'll probably last me a week. Oh, just driving from like school to home to school to work to Wyndham a couple times, probably to Portland a couple times.
Yeah, it's
So,
definitely aerodynamic, right?
oh yeah, totally.
Mine's about as aerodynamic as a cow. So, you know.
Isn't there a
And then it's
meme
even
of a
worse.
chart that like
Yeah,
of the
there is a chart
aerodynamics
that
of a
has
cow?
that.
That's funny. Yeah, yours is like the aerodynamics of a brick wall.
Yeah, and it's even worse since I raised the front because it looked weird when it was down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sucks to own a Hummer for
But
driving
it's
in fast
cool.
purposes, but aesthetic
It's
purposes.
worth.
Oh
You can't
man.
run from the cops. That's unfortunate.
How would you know?
I tried it. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
I did try to race someone before, but I
Yeah, that
lost.
horribly failed.
I lost terribly. They were going like 80 and I was just going 60 and they just woo,
Yeah.
gone.
To anyone's surprise, it was not me.
No. It was actually it was a Toyota that I raced.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, Toyota has the Supra, so it's a race car, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
If any car manufacturer has a race car, your car's automatically a race car.
Specifically it was the Corolla, but it can be a race car, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just imagine driving the Supra. It's fine. Is that the Toyota like for like race car?
Well, not technically.
What is it? It's a weird looking car that I played with on the crew.
Does the crew even have?
Crew 1 had the Nissan car that I drove. Remember the orange one? That was a race car. I don't remember what it
I
was,
don't
but
remember what it was called.
it was a Nissan and it was fast. Well, I don't know if it was
Fast.
really fast, but
As the game was breaking, it was fast.
exactly. Oh man. Well, I think that is about all the time we have for this episode. Um,
Yeah, it was fun.
yeah, so I think we're probably gonna try this more often, just talking about whatever. I mean, if we see an article, we'll throw one in there on something. Um, but it's definitely gonna be more laid back, more chill, more of kind of just like a fun listening type of thing. Um, where it's not like you have to focus on what we're saying. It's good background
Yeah,
noise.
yeah, definitely.
That's what I
That's how
feel.
I listen to podcasts.
Yeah. Like usually with topic ones, you kind of have to pay attention to it. The ones like where they just kind of talk, it's just like you put it on the background, you listen to some parts, you hear a part, you'll laugh at it because it's funny. Then you'll go back to doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think we're gonna keep it this format. Um, at least for now. Maybe if we get a guest on, we'll talk about whatever they're they have to do. Like if they do something, like we'll probably talk about that a little more specifically. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll have to see what the future holds. But anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you maybe next week. You never know. Could be next week. Could be 4 weeks. Could be 2 years.
800. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Bye.